that would have been the time to come forward. When you were asked about it in June of 2016, I don't take any pleasure out of sentencing anyone, but, you know, that's a part of my job.
Breaking news out of Georgia today. A judge got emotional, as you saw, as he sentenced Bo Dukes to 25 years in prison. Dukes was found guilty, finally, after all of these years, for lying to police about covering up the murder of teacher and beauty queen Tara Grinstead. Now, moments ago, he faced Tara's family.
To the Tara Grinstead family, I'm truly sorry. Your long suffering has been unimaginable. My actions were cowardly, callous, and cruel. I was more interested in self-pity and self-preservation than doing the right thing for Tara and for you. I pray for your forgiveness.
The first taste of justice for a family waiting for an agonizing 13 years. Attorney and host of the true crime podcast Sworn, Phil Holloway, back with us now. So 25 years, there's a lot of finger pointing in this case. And I mean, the family of Tara, they have been waiting for years for something to happen here, and it finally did. Were you surprised at the amount of time, 25 years?
Oh, not at all, Susan. 25 years was the maximum, and given the harm that this lie has caused not only to Tara Grinstead, but to her family who's been waiting all these years, I think that the judge took all of that into consideration and handed down the maximum that he could. It's important to remember that in this case, they only had to prove that he lied to police about his role in this case, but they also had to prove, at least to this jury's satisfaction, that there was a malice murder and that another man named Ryan Duke committed that murder. So this was a preview to a trial that we're going to see, at least for now. It's scheduled for April 1st, jury selection. And in that case, Ryan Duke is actually saying that despite his confession, which he says was a false confession, that Bo Dukes, this guy, was the real killer. So it's basically boiling down, Susan, to a Duke versus Dukes showdown. And what's going to happen is anybody's guess. But I tell you, there's going to be a lot more to come. The next trial is going to be a blockbuster compared to this one.
Yeah, if it's any indication, the judge tearing up, getting emotional here. It's a very small town. Everyone knows everyone. But this has been years of excruciating pain for Tara's family. She was a teacher that so many people loved. I want to listen to Tara's family after hearing the verdict, finally.
It's phenomenal. I mean, I know it's a baby step, you know, one down and two to go, but I feel like we're finally getting justice for Tara.
How hard was it for you and your parents in there?
Mr. Rigby's closing argument was very powerful, very difficult.
So that is Tara's mother. Why do you think, this is a loaded question, that it took so many years? A lot of facets to this, though, and finger pointing.
There's so many different moving parts to this. There was some testimony in this trial, Susan, from the former GBI agent who's now retired. And basically, to summarize his testimony about that very question, they had lots of information streams basically coming into the GBI. They were almost drinking from a fire hose, so to speak, with all the information coming into this. And some of the tips that they were getting were not, in fact, going to the law enforcement officers, but they were going to bounty hunters and people trying to get the reward. So these individuals were, in fact, on the GBI's radar, or they should have been back in the days, weeks, and months, because there was a report made to local law enforcement. Local law enforcement knew the general framework of what happened. They actually went to this pecan orchard and searched it back in 2005. That information apparently got buried in a GBI case file. Nobody really saw it. And so all these years later, when it resurfaces back to life, the GBI says they weren't on their radar, but in fact, they really should have been on their radar.
And again, similar last names, no relation. Bo sentenced to 25 years, still another trial to face. And Ryan on the left, his mother is saying, look, he assisted, he didn't do it, Bo did it. So we still have a long way to go in terms of this, but certainly a milestone for Tara's mom in terms of waiting for so long. This is, I think, going to give her a bit of peace here.
Hopefully this will give her peace, but she's got at least one more trial to go through, and it's going to be much more involved. In this case, she had to listen to anthropologists talking about bone fragments and things like that. That's a horrible way to learn about your child's final resting place.
She had to walk out at one point during the trial. All right, Phil, thank you. I know we'll be talking more about this.
Happy to be here.
It's far from
Thanks.
over. Good to see you.